I am making an ojama armed dragon deck profile. I was going through my decks and realized they hadn't done an update for this deck, so I figured I'd go ahead and make an updated version. I did add another engine to the deck, so the main deck is 45 cards. I don't know how consistent it is, as I have not tested it yet. I've just rebuilt it. So, starting off with the monsters, I play 11 Ojama monsters, being 2 copies of Ojama Yellow, 2 black, 2 green, 2 red, and 3 blue. Ojama Yellow, Green, and Black are only in here so that you can actually use Ojama Magic. Ojama Red is in this deck so that you can just Field Swarm, as when you're able to use its effect, you're able to summon 5 Ojamas at the same time. Or, my bad, you're able to summon 4 Ojamas at the same time. And Ojama Blue is only in here because it can add 2 Ojama cards just by being destroyed in battle. And then moving on to the fusion materials of the deck. I play 1 X Head Cannon, Y Dragon Head, and Z Metal Tank. These are in here so that you can summon XYZ Dragon Cannon to then go into Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. Then I play 3 copies of A Assault Core. A Assault Core has the effect of, once per turn, you can target a light machine monster you control. Equip this card onto that monster. Or you can unequip it and special summon it. And the monster equipped with this card cannot be destroyed by an opponent's monster effect. And then, where is it? If the equipped monster be destroyed by battle or card effect, you destroy this card instead. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 other union monster from your deck to your hand. So pretty much what you can do with this is you can use it to then add things like Z Metal Tank, Y Dragon Head, and your copies of B Buster Drake or C Crush Wyvern. And B Buster Drake has the same equipping or unequip effect as A Assault Core. It makes the equipped monster cannot be targeted and destroyed, or just okay, it becomes unaffected by opponent's spells. Then if it's sent from field to grave, you can add a union monster from the deck to your hand. Then I play 3 copies of Sea Crush Wyvern. Sea Crush Wyvern has the same unequip and equip effect as B and A and B. And while it's equipped, that monster becomes unaffected by opponent's traps. And then if it goes from field to grave, you can special summon a union monster from your hand. This is the main part. I don't really know how it will work because I haven't played ABC too often. I think I tried playing it once and I was terrible at it. So now I'm going to try again with Ojama Armed Dragon. The only thing I am still missing with this deck is that I do want to play 1 copy of A2Z, but I don't have one of those, so it's just not going to be my deck for now. And then for the Armed Dragon part of the deck, I play 1 copy of Armed Dragon level 10 and 2 copies of Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 is treated as Armed Dragon level 7 while on the field and in the graveyard. And you can special summon, or if you can discard a, but that's pretty much the only effect you're going to use of it. You're not really going to use it to discarding or summon other monsters off of it. The only reason it's in here is because its name comes level 7, which is needed for Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon, and you can just tribute it to special summon Armed Dragon level 10. And Armed Dragon level 10 lets you discard a card to Regeki your opponent's board. Well, it can only be special summoned by tributing an Armed Dragon level 7. And if I remember correctly, make sure I got that right. Okay, so it just destroys all your opponent's face-up monsters. It's not an actual Regeki. But that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. For the spells, I play 1 copy of Terraforming. This just lets you add your copy of Union Carrier from the deck to your hand. Then I play one copy of Ojama Delta Hurricane, since at the beginning of your combo with this deck, you will add, or you'll be summoning Ojama Yellow, Ojama Black, and Ojama Green. I figured I might as well have a bit of fun and play the one Delta Hurricane. This can only be activated while you control Ojama Yellow, Green, and Black, but while you have all three in play, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Then I play 3 copies of Ojama Magic. If Ojama Magic is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can then add the 3 Stooges. 3 Stooges being yellow, green, and black from your deck to your hand. Unfortunately, it's not up to, so you have to add all 3. So if 2 are in your hand or is in your hand, field, or grave, then Ojama Magic can't activate. Which it's imperative that you keep recycling them. Then I play 3 copies of Ojama Match. Ojama Match lets you send an Ojama card from your hand to the graveyard, to then add an Ojama monster and an Armed Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which normally would be Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 and Ojama Red. And then you can, after that effect resolves, immediately normal summon one of those 2 monsters. Which all you have to do to make your starting board is see an Ojama monster, Ojama Match, and Ojama Magic. That is your opening combo. Because in order for Ojama Red to use its effect, you have to actually be able to summon Ojama at the time of its effect activation. So you can't just go chain 1 Ojama Red and then chain 2 Ojama Magic to add the 3 Stooges and then summon them. Then I play 3 copies of Ojama Simulation. This lets you reveal a Light Machine Fusion monster from your extra deck, banish Ojama monsters from your hand or graveyard as material. You banish them and then summon the materials from your hand or deck. Or hand and or deck, I should say. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention it, but Ojama Match also has the same grave effect as this card, where both cards have the grave effect of you can banish it, target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 1 card. Then I play 3 copies of Fusion Tag. Fusion Tag has the effect you can target 1 monster you control, reveal a monster in your extra deck, and if you do this, that monster's name is treated as that monster. Which I will explain why it's in this deck when I get to the reason it's in the deck. And to finish off the deck, I play 3 copies of Union Hanger. Union Hanger has the effect of when it's activated, you can add a Light Machine Union monster from your deck to your hand, which A, B, C, and Y and Z are all Union monsters, but I don't know why you would add Y Dragon Head and Z Metal Tank. You want them indexing someone off of Ojama Simulation. But as the effect of once per turn, if a Light Machine Union monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except in a damage step, you can special summon. You can target one of those monsters, equip an appropriate Light Machine Union from deck to that monster, as long as it has a different name. However, the monster you equip with this effect cannot be unequipped by its own effect. Or you can equip a monster that can't be special summoned that turn, as I should say. And you can only activate 1 Union Hanger per turn. I probably have a feeling I butchered that. Basically, you activate it, you add A, B, or C, and if you summon A, B, or C, you equip C from your deck. And then you just link it off and trigger C's effect to get A. No, I did that wrong. Like I said, I never knew how to play ABC, so I don't really know. And to finish off the deck, I play 2 copies of Ojama Pajama. Ojama Pajama has the effect of if an Armed Dragon monster or a Light Machine monster, or a Light Machine Fusion, would be destroyed by, I believe it's card effect, or it should be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish an Ojama monster from your graveyard from play instead. And then you can only use each of the following effects of Ojama Pajama once per turn. Where you can, during the main phase, you can add an Ojama card from your deck to your hand, but then you have to discard a card. So normally I would use this to add Oja Magic and then send this added Oja Magic to then get the Three Stooges. And then if this card on the if this card is sent from, I cannot read. If this card is sent to the graveyard, then you can special summon as many of your banished Ojama monsters as possible. That effect doesn't normally come up when I play this deck. The main one that comes up is being able to add an Ojama card and then send a card, which typically tends to be Oja Magic and then send Oja Magic. But that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, which there are 2 cards that should be in the extra deck that aren't, and I will go over those when I get to them. So, but starting with the Link monsters, I play 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, deal with back row. Unicorn, just shuffle back annoying cards. And I also play 1 copy of Appaloosa, since depending on what you can do or what happens after your main starter combo, sometimes it's just best to just make a 4 material Appaloosa and pass after that. As Appaloosa acquires 2+ monsters with different names, it gains 800 attack for each monster used for its link summoning, and once per chain, you can decrease its attack by 800 to negate an opponent's activated monster effect. Then I also play 1 copy of Saryuja Skulldread. Sorry, there should be 2 other copies of Saryuja Skulldread in the deck, but due to me being an idiot and trading them away, I only have 1 now. But Saryuja has the effect, or has 3 effects depending on how many monsters with different names were used to make it. So if you use 2 or more, any monster summoned to a zone at points 2 gains 800 attack points. 3 or more, once per turn, you can special summon a monster from your hand to a zone at points 2. Or to a zone at points 2. You can special summon a monster from your hand. It doesn't have to be to a zone at points 2. I'm used to Link monsters having that effect now, but that's not what it has. And if you use 4 or more when it's Link summoned, you can draw 4 cards and then put 3 cards back into your deck. Is it back into your deck or the bottom of the deck? Okay, you draw 4 and then you put 3 at the bottom of your deck in any order, which is usually what I use to put cards I want in my deck back at the bottom of my deck. But when I was playing this deck before, I would easily be able to go through 3 copies of Saryuja Skulldread. Then I play 1 copy of Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess is a card I would take out for another Saryuja Skulldread. But Underworld Goddess requires, 2 or 4+ monsters? 4+ effect monsters. But you can use 1 monster your opponent controls for this card's Link Summon. And then when it's Link Summon, it negates the effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls. It's unaffected by your opponent's card effects unless they specifically target it. And once per turn, it can negate the effect of a card that would summon from the graveyard. Then for the Xyz monsters, I play 1 copy of number 64, Ronin Raccoon Sendayu. 1 copy of number 96, Dark Mist, which realistically you can take Dark Mist out for a 3rd Saryuja Skulldread. And then 1 copy of number 2, Ninja Shadow Mosquito. Ronin Raccoon Sendayu has the effect of once per turn you can detach material, summon a Sendayu token that is, I believe, an Earth Beast monster. Level 2, and its attack and defense, I believe, are equal to the highest attack monster currently on the field. No, its defense is 0. So, an example would be if you summon this and your opponent has Kashtira or Rise Heart in play, the token would have 3,000 attack points. And if I remember correctly, Sendayu has protection while the token's in play, which is, while you control another beast-type monster, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So most people would do with this, they would summon in defense mode, summon a token, and then just have it be a body because of the token. Dark Mist has the effect of, once per battle, when it battles a monster, you can detach material to have it steal half of that monster's attack points. So if it battles a blue eyes white dragon, then it will weaken the blue eyes by 15, and then it'll increase itself by 15. And it can use that effect multiple times a turn as long as it's battling multiple times a turn. Like, I actually won a game. I don't remember how I did it. I'll try it because I stole it. But one of the games I won, I took control of an opponent's Performage Trapeze Magician. Had to remember its name. Used its effects so that Dark Mist could attack twice. I had to attack one monster, steal half its attack, which I think it really was a Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then I had to attack a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon and had to steal half of that monster's attack, which meant my Dark Mist had 3,600 to its 2,000. And then Trapeze Magician just attacked, and then... Oh, yeah, okay, because then I used Number Wall to protect it, so it gets 2 attacks during every battle phase, and it can't be destroyed by card effects, including Trapeze Magician's effect to destroy. But I just won a game because of Dark Mist being able to steal attack points. And then Ninja Shadow Mosquito has the effect of it can't be destroyed in battle, nor do you take any... I usually don't think you take battle damage from battles involving it. Let's see, I take no battle. All monsters your opponent control must attack if able. And when an attack is declared, you can activate one of the following effects. You can detach a material, and if you do, place a hallucination counter on one face-up monster your opponent controls. Or you can inflict damage equal to the attack of one monster with a hallucination counter. I have yet to actually summon Ninja Shadow Mosquito, but I like the idea of if your opponent manages to stop you from being able to... If you summon 5 ojama monsters turn 1, and your opponent manages to stop you from doing things, like activates this call or dimensional barrier call fusion, then I'll just use all 5 ojamas to summon Ninja Shadow Mosquito. And have a 5 material mosquito. Anyway, now on to the fun part of the deck, which is the fusion monsters. Which is 1 copy of VW Tiger Catapult. This card is the reason why Fusion Tag is played in the main deck. Because you use Fusion Tag, target your 5th Ojama, because normally you'd have an Ojama still in play. Have it be treated as VW Tiger Catapult. And then you can banish it with your XYZ Dragon Cannon to summon your 1 copy of VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. And then XYZ Dragon Cannon can discard 1 card, target 1 card your opponent controls, and destroy it. Which is why I use XYZ instead of V and W. Just because I'd rather summon Dragon Cannon than Tiger Catapult. And then VW XYZ Dragon Cannon has the effect of, if it battles a monster, you can change the battle position. And once per turn, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish that target. So yeah, once per turn, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it, and then if it battles an opponent's monster, you can change its battle position, in which case a flip effect would not activate. Then I play 3 copies of the second dumbest fusion monster in this deck, which is 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. It is Dragon Buster, right? Yeah. Where once per turn you can discard 1 card, target 1 card your opponent controls, and banish it. And then quick effect, you can return it to the extra deck to then summon a banished A Assault Core, B Buster Drake, and C Crush Wyvern. So if your opponent tries to attack over, you can just tag out, and then you just go from there. I remember at one point I was able to play this deck. I was able to summon 3 of this monster while only having 1A, 1B, or 1C. Because I was using, what was it called? Burial from a Different Dimension. Same with the next monster being the boss monster of Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon is the dumbest fusion monster I've ever read. Where it has the continuous effect of Your opponent's cards and effects that have the same name as a card that's already banished face up are negated. Which, last time I summoned this was against someone playing Invoked, and at least the important parts of each of his engines were banished, so this card effectively destroyed his deck. As Alistair was banished, Invocation was banished, the starter Wind Witch was banished, and I want to say he also had a banished Magician's Souls. So I don't remember what it was, I just remember, oh yeah, because he's also playing Dogmatic on it, and he had a Ecclesia and Darn cough. Oh, what was the other thing's name? I think it was Fleur de Lis. The Dogmatic monster can summon itself from the hand if there's an extra monster in play. Target one monster opponent controls and negates effects. And then if it battles, all Dogmatic monsters you control gain 500. But basically everything he had was banished, so he couldn't use any of his engines. As well as this card having the effect of once per turn, quick effect during the main phase, you can banish one monster from your deck or extra deck face up to then be able to just banish all cards your opponent controls and in their graveyard. And that's the main reason. The only downside of summoning this is that you can only summon it by banishing an Armed Dragon level 7 and an XYZ or VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon that have been summoned in the same duel. So, but like I said, though, this is the dumbest card because I've also done a test with it against Kashtira. And if you summon this against Kashtira, you just win because they have a banished Fenrir they can't use the effect of. I remember at one point I had almost all their important cards banished, at least one, so they couldn't use most of their important cards. I want to say I even managed to banish an Arise Heart from their extra deck, so it just negated all of Arise Heart's effects. But I think that was the only time I managed to win against Kashtira at all. But anyway, that's the end of my Armed Dragon Ojama Fusion deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas for decks like to see be made in the future, or decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching.